Hi lovely people, and welcome to my fourth instalment of Book Chat. Book Chat has been much more regular than I initially anticipated and could roughly be described as a monthly roundup. But I am sticking with the path that I forged for myself, so let's have a chat.
Sophie Vlogs.
First book to have a chat about is A Card from Angela Carter by Susanna Clapp, which I mentioned in my non-fiction haul video. As I said in my haul video, this book is sort of a mixture of the postcards that Angela Carter has sent Susanna Clapp across the years, and then it sort of uses that as like a springboard for Susanna's like recollections about Carter as a person and as an author and all this sort of thing. So, this was interesting. I previously said I don't know a lot about Angela Carter's life. I know more about her life now. Interestingly enough, she lived in Bristol for a while, which is where I am from and currently live. So those bits were really interesting. Yeah, I definitely say if you're a fan of Angela Carter, read this. If you are interested in learning more about her, read it. I'm actually doing a little drop-off of books at charity shops this weekend, and I will be getting rid of this one, but only because I don't see myself rereading it. But it was really interesting to read. After that we have another book which I am also going to be giving away, and that is Supernaturalist by Owen Colfer. This was a reread. I have read this book previously. It was one of my favourite books when I was a kid. I loved Owen Colfer when I was a kid, the Artemis Fowl series and the Airman and all stuff like that. I'm hoping to be moving at some point in the future, so I'm conscious of the fact that everything I own I will have to take with me. So I'm just being like a little bit more brutal on my bookshelves as to what I keep. And so I reread this to see if it was something which I think I'll be rereading again, and I don't think I will reread it again, although I do still think it is a good book, especially for younger readers. So I did still really enjoy it. There was a lot I'd forgotten about it, and I do still think it's a really good book, but I need to free up some shelf space because I'm running a bit low. After that we have a book which I've been meaning to read for so many years, and that is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, who are two of my favourite authors, and I have known for so many years that this is such a highly rated book and should be really enjoyable. I've been working my way through Terry Pratchett's Discworlds in like order of publishing, and I've been really enjoying the Discworlds. They're so good. Neil Gaiman I've loved for ages. He's written loads of books that I love, so like the two of them together I knew was going to be good. So I really enjoyed this. The premise is you have Crowley, who is like the who is like a fallen angel, who is the serpent who tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden, and then you have Azraphale, I don't know how to say his name, I'm sorry, who is an angel. So like there's the grand eternal struggle between heaven and hell happening, and then the Antichrist is born, and which should herald the end of days, but there's like a little bit of a kerfuffle that mixes up the plan. And then you sort of just go from there onwards, and yeah, it was really fun. I expected it to be really fun. It was really fun. I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads and it would probably be more like a 3.5 or a 3.75 if we're getting like pernickety, because I did really like it. However, there were books by both these authors which I think I liked more. So I'm really glad I read it. I read it because it's going to be getting turned into some sort of BBC thing. I think it's a radio programme, could be a TV series, don't entirely remember. But I always like to consume them before they're turned into the visual medium, just so I can really watch it with pre-knowledge. So yeah, if you're a fan of either author, would recommend it. Solid good book. After that is a book that was on my 10 books I want to read in 2017 list, which is The Full Spectrum, a new generation of writing about gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, questioning and other identities, edited by David Lee Fyson and Billy Merrill. I think they set out like an open call for people within a certain age bracket who identified with some of these labels to submit stories about their lives to them, and then they edited it down into the selection that we have here. It was good. I enjoyed most of them a lot. There are a couple which I thought were a bit meh in comparison, but that's to be expected from an anthology, really. I felt like maybe there was a slight focus on the experience of gay men, specifically. I don't necessarily think that's a criticism, but it was an observation I had. On the whole, I really enjoyed it, and it sort of does what I expected it to do, which is just give you a bunch of perspectives and just show you that this is not a homogenous group with homogenous experiences. It is a group that is made up of people of all different backgrounds, and their lives have all been very different, and it was just interesting. I'm going to end on two comic-y things, starting with Archer and Armstrong, The Michelangelo Code by Fred Van Lente, Clayton Henry, and Matt Miller. This is another comic which my friend sent me. I assume most of the time that comics have been sent to me by Mark. Archer is like a teenager who's been raised in like a religious commune with the sole purpose of taking down this figure which they believe to have been sent by the devil. Armstrong is like an immortal guy from like way back when, who is trying to stop people from assembling this device which like destroyed his entire civilization. And they become like unlikely allies and then are fighting against this sort of all the people who want to use the device, etc. It was good. It wasn't like the best comic thing I've ever read, but it was suitably enjoyable that I continued and read the whole volume, but I'm not sure if I would bother to get and read volume 2. After that we have 3 of Marguerite Bennett's Red Sonja series, pretty covers for your viewing pleasure. I've never read any Red Sonja before, but I thought I would read it because my podcast, our March episode, is Conan the Barbarian, so I've been watching the films, and I know that Red Sonja is a comic universe creation that sometimes does stuff with Conan, so I just thought I'd dip my toe into that water and see what it's like. Again, perfectly enjoyable, not outstanding, probably not gonna buy the rest of the series, but fun nonetheless. I like Red Sonja in this as a person. The story sort of got a little bit like, there's definite like nods to like Nazi Germany, but in like this weird barbarian context. But yeah, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, do feel free to go for it. I just probably not going to continue with that. That is just a snippet of some of the things I read this month. I'm intending on doing some full review videos for some of the other things I read, so there should be some of those coming out as well, or maybe they've already come out. I don't know what order I'm posting these videos in. As always, let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these things I have talked about, or if you have any recommendations, or if you have read anything delightful. You know the score by now. We're 4 book chats in. Just come chat about books with me. You have been you, and I have been me, and this has been a video on books. Have a lovely week.